Yeah. I hate it when I get a press key for something and the game is buggy as hell. Generally speaking, that sours me to working with that company. But I can understand, like, oh, it's a beta version, here's some bugs. But whenever it's like,
What a
um,
messy little demon.
whenever it's something that's going to be released in like a week and it's a buggy as hell, it's like, are you really going to release it in this state? Is this really what you want them to see? The further out from release, the more forgiving I am of bugs as well. So, oh, we actually do have another charm in here. I forget what it is. It's a little fire resist. Sure, we'll take it.
You're an even greater warrior than I.
Only effective depending on your...
Afternoon.
AoE is only effective depending on your physical presence. Not necessarily in this game. I mean, yeah, you do need to stay close enough for it to be active, but... Metamorphosis is about bugs. But it is kind of disappointing it was so badly released on consoles. Metamorphosis was... It's a cool-looking game, and the PC version, for most people I saw playing it, which is the platform most of them played it on, was stable and fun and enjoyable and all that stuff, but... Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons, like you pointed out, the reviews of Metamorphosis on consoles are the exact opposite of what they are on PC. You can tell that the studio has worked primarily on PC. Being in the if you're a melee character, yes, you do want to be in the middle of the pack usually. I say usually because, again, there are exceptions. Most strong melee characters are going to be doing fast attacks or strong AoE attacks. And it's worth noting, in Vanilla Diablo 2, you do not have splash damage on your attacks, unless it specifically states it. In the Project Diablo 2, the most melee weapons actually have splash damage in Project Diablo 2, but not in Vanilla. There we go. That's the best way to phrase it. Without making me seem like a complete crazy person. 9 out of 10 on Steam. 5 or 6 out of 10 depending on the console. Yeah. That sounds about right. Judging by what it looked like while you were playing it, Riss, Metamorphosis definitely deserves that. Although, weirdly, there are some games that have gotten like really low ratings just in general that I've actually enjoyed. Big example would be... Actually, I don't know if it ended up getting a low rating in the end. But, Last Remnant. I know for a while there it was rated kind of poorly, though they're making a remaster of it, so it probably doesn't have that low of a rating anymore. But it was a decent kind of strategy-esque RPG. I have to say strategy-esque because you don't really make a lot of the decisions. You just kind of choose the pose, and they do what they want. But that's one that I actually do want to cover. I would be covering it on PC, though. And it is one of those that I haven't beaten because you can actually completely screw up your playthrough and have it be irredeemably broken. So I would be following a guide for it. Yonk, there you go. Fun fact, I also have not actually even played. Oh, now I'm forgetting the name of it. It's the one with the skeleton guy, Sans. I'm forgetting the name of it all of a sudden. Somebody help me. Tell me the name of the game I'm thinking of. It has Sans in it, the little skeleton dude. It was really popular for a while. Undertale. There we go. Just had to remind myself. Let's see. We'll just bash our way through the door. They can fight things back there. We're getting experience for them just fighting things everywhere. Oh, goodness gracious. It takes me a while to arrive at my conclusion. But with everything, I can't wait until we get revives. We have to realize, I don't even have revives yet. I am super underpowered right now. They're just running through and doing all the work for me. And these Crush Beasts are actually surviving quite well against them. Oh, Undertale. I hear Undertale is an amazing game, but it's also very experimental. Literally had someone on Reddit, I think it was yesterday, actually asking whether what game should I start with in the JRPG subreddit? And they listed, like, Persona 5. I think it was Persona 5, Fire Emblem, Three Houses, Undertale, and I can't remember the fourth one. But it was basically they listed one from each subgenre of JRPG. I'm like, oh, it was Monster Hunter, not Monster Hunter, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And if somebody gets mad at me for calling it Monster Hunter, I'm gonna thwack you in the ear because they're not that different. I prefer my Xeno Sagas over my Xeno Chronicles, but... Oh, yeah. Honestly, most of the Diablo 2 community is pretty good. Though, there is a toxic undercurrent on Diablo 2 communities as well. Generally, they tend to mind their own business usually, but there's a subset of people who play Diablo 2 who are exceptionally neckbeardy is probably the best way to put it. That kind of make me cringe. Baldur's Gate. Depends on which part you ended in. And whether you want the full story, which is Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, or whether you just want the first Baldur's Gate. Because I can give you a synopsis of just the first one. It's entirely possible. And it's actually a fairly short synopsis. Unless you want everybody's little side stories and everything. But the short version of Baldur's Gate 1 is... your caretaker dies, you're the son of a god, and then you kill your brother, your half-brother, who's also a son of a god, but son of a different mother. And it turns out in the little ending credits that there's a lot of siblings of Baal. And that's how you end up moving on into the second game, as it becomes more common knowledge and somebody tries to exploit the power of the children of Baal. But Saravok is your half-brother in that case, and you kill him. So if I do cover Undertale, I should cover Genocide first and Pacifist second. Sounds like a plan to me. So chaotic evil and chaotic good. There is no right way to play a single-player game. I'm sorry. That's just how it goes. There was no incest in that. But it's... Baal had a lot of children by a lot of different people. He basically infused the seed of murder into many, many species. Not species, races. Sorry, not species. Although that would be even scarier. But he basically infused his essence into many different critters, well, people, characters, whatever you want to call it, so that as they die, he would basically become reincarnated as the last one standing. It's kind of a Highlander kind of vibe. That's the premise of Baal in Baldur's Gate, and I forget how well tied it is into actual Baldur's Gate, like the D&D, like pen and paper version. But yeah, that's because I'm not really super versed on pen and paper lore, so much as I am on video game aspects of it. And then there's the whole like stupid aspect that there's 2 Baldur's Gate 1s and there's 2 Baldur Gates 2s. So yeah. Oh Jesus. Okay, we've got problems up ahead. But there is the PlayStation Baldur's Gate. Yeah. I think Undertale would probably be something I don't do on stream. I'd probably do it off stream. I'm going to let my minions sit back here and just kind of deal with these guys like this. But, yeah, there's actually 2 Baldur's Gates. There's the PlayStation 2 Baldur's Gate, which is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. And then there's the PC Baldur's Gate, which is the actual Baldur's Gate, in my opinion. And that's going to piss some people off, especially Deepalm. But the one on consoles is an action RPG, whereas the one on PC is a strategy RPG of sorts. It's a CRPG is the technical term, but it's basically a strategy game which is real time that you can pause, if that makes sense. And why I keep summoning the Golem, I don't know. It's just habit to have the meaty boy there. Just because I can. Let's see. Wow, we've been going for almost 2 hours. We might actually beat normal today. I think... Let's see. Let's go ahead and just keep murdering things for a minute. I want to find the waypoint, for sure. I'm debating whether I want to take a break after I defeat normal difficulty or before. Because doing it before... Yep. Let's see. Priest Realms. Okay. Whenever I was a kid, mostly what I read was Dragonlance, so... That's just because what they sold in the stores around where I lived. Which is pretty much what you're limited to whenever you don't have, you know, internet until you're almost 20. Great for... And, oh, one thing worth noting, the PlayStation 2 games of Baldur's Gate and, as you said, Champions of Norath are actually getting quite expensive for what they are. So, I would either say pick them up soon or expect to be paying over $100 for them in the next couple of years. So, for those of you who collect games. But a lot of games in that subgenre are just spiking like crazy. Oh, Drizzt? Oh, okay. Drizzt is in everything. He's like the freaking... Oh, I'm trying to think of what to refer him to. But he is literally in just like everything D&D. He shows up so many times. Like all the games and stuff. He's hidden somewhere. I'm trying to think which ones he wasn't in, which is going to be the shorter list. I don't think he was in the NES D&D games. But I could be wrong there. I didn't beat any of those, so... The NES D&D games were kind of jank. Just a little bit jank. They always felt very awkward to play. Because they had more in common with the old, like, dungeon crawler CRPGs. Which generally were hard as balls. So, can you guys stop getting poisoned so much, please? For the love of God. Stop. I'm gonna come up here so they don't all die. And I almost clicked on dumbass again. Damn it, Deckard. I'm glad you die in the third game. Oh, yeah. I think I have Champions of Norath. I don't remember playing it. But I do, well, I'm talking about in my current collection. I have played it before, back whenever it was like, you could get it from Blockbuster kind of situation. Yeah, that I just said Blockbuster. I used to rent games from Blockbuster when I was a kid. So, yeah. Just realized how much that aged me, considering I think there's only 2. There might only be 1 Blockbusters left open now. the D&D that's coming to mind, there were top-down D&D things on the early platforms as well. But the one that comes to mind whenever I think of NES D&D actually is a side-scroller. It's got more in common with, oh, crap. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Oh, it's the one that was rotoscoped for platforming. It had a lot in common with Prince of Persia. Like the early Princes of Persia. Probably the game I got the most from Blockbuster was Final Fantasy VI. No. Not Golden Axe. Golden Axe wasn't mocapped. Not mocapped, I mean rotoscoped. It was a sci-fi setting. It had very fluid climbing things, but it was very, very slow pace. You walked everywhere. And by early Prince of Persia, I mean the 2D Prince of Persia, not like early 3D Princes of Persia. Because Prince of Persia was a side-scroller as well. And I think it might have been rotoscoped too, now that I think about it. But I'm not certain on that. Flashback, that's the one I was thinking of. Thank you. It was not going to come to me. I kept thinking it starts with an F, but beyond that, it was just not there. It was not finding its home in my brain. But yeah, the early D&D has a lot more in common with that. A very slow-moving, walking kind of situation, except really jank combat and a party system. Yeah. That was my first NES encounter with D&D. I think Genesis ones did it a little bit better with the top-down stuff, but to each their own, I guess. Been tempted to cover some old NES games on the channel. I think the only one I've done, though, is Blades of Steel. So, welcome to Retro Corner. And that was just to test if it would record properly, and it did. Just, I never went further on that. I did record some Final Fantasy 1, but never ended up making a series out of it. So it's just sitting there unlisted. There was one in Oregon and two in Alaska. I think the ones in Alaska are still around, but I'm not positive on that. That's why I'm not sure if it's just one left. It might have been the ones in Alaska that shut down and the one in Oregon that stayed open. But they're just independent movie shops that just happen to have the name Blockbuster now. There's no Blockbuster Corporation at all. So they're kind of in that weird place of there isn't a company to fight the trademark, so why not just keep using it? If you didn't grow up with NES, the NES is kind of horrible to play, in my opinion. Because it's kind of like if you didn't grow up on Atari or ColecoVision or any of those, they're kind of horrible to play on as well. I was doing the regular NES version, but if I was going to do a updated version, I'd probably actually do the PlayStation 1 version. Yes, it has longer load times, but the backgrounds are prettier, in my opinion, and it's got a decent appearance, in my opinion. Also has cinematics. Let's see, where is our waypoint? Because I don't know if we're going to actually get through Bale. Bale might be a problem, but we are going to pop this and actually fight this as well. Our golem is just eating it now. He just has no health. I think he has less health than our skeletons. He does. He has less health than a skeleton. The skeletons are literally stronger than our golem. Golem is just slowing shit down. That's his entire job. There you go. We murdered them. Sweet. Let's see. Ooh, ancients are going to be a pain in the ass too, I just realized. That's not good. Oh, there's our waypoint. I'm trying to think of how we'd want to get over there. Besides, well, let's just do this. I keep forgetting we have a teleport. The original Zelda's kind of fun, and so despite the hate on it, Zelda 2 is actually quite fun too. I liked Zelda 2 as a kid, and I like it as an adult. It's just very obtuse in where it expects you to go. That's its major drawback. So you generally do need a guide to figure out where to go. It's kind of like Castlevania 2, where they made it so you had to call the Nintendo hotline to figure out that you needed to kneel at a wall or go through something ungodly to get to it. Let's see. Yeah. It's just one of those things. And yes, I am a hoarder when it comes to runes and gems. Deal with it. Currently sitting at... how many Tal runes? 30? I actually did play the original Dragon Warrior as well, and I do have the re-release on Switch. I have the 3-pack that they released in Asia. I don't know if they released it in the States or Europe, but I ordered it and got it shipped here because I wanted it. They're not great games. Although, I should say, the first one's not a great game, but... yeah, the battle music, it doesn't bother me so much. It's just super repetitive. Because it's the... oh, yeah. If I remember correctly, it's the same everywhere. And I don't think they fixed that in the re-release either. And the re-release is, if I remember correctly, a port of the mobile version, but it's still not bad. So... let's check the kite shield, because Merc needs a new shield. He can always use one. That's not better than what he has, though. I want him with resist, because he's going to be hiding back. A slime approaches. Ba-da-da-da. Yeah. It was super easy to grind in that game, though. So... and yes, I know those were the stairs up. I'm looking for the stairs down, because I want to get my extra resists. Because we're going to need them whenever we get to hell difficulty. Hey, Gollum, where the hell did you come from? Just wandering in from the side stage there. So I think... actually, I think the way down is going to be up there. But I might as well get some more experience. I'm definitely going to need it before we get further in. Because we are playing a summoner build, and we are at the point where even Diablo was causing us to have to resummon super frequently. And these guys are taking a little while to kill. Yep. A lot of JRPGs use that strategy, where they have a farmable enemy, if that makes sense. It's not exclusive to Enix titles, because Final Fantasy does it well with like well, not the original Final Fantasy, although if I remember correctly, they did have a few in that could almost be qualified as that, but give the best stat gross Link or Zelda. Yeah, because RNG was based on that in the original. I don't know if the remake actually uses the same kind of RNG polling. It would make speedrunning it kind of interesting, because if you ever go watch the speedruns for Dragon Warrior, they are RNG manipulative, like nobody's business. They're designed... you basically go through on a specific pattern, specific squares to seed the AI. I mean, not seed the AI. Seed the RNG to have like a specific result each and every time. So, yeah, and you'd also like menu options to change the RNG, not the RNG, the seed. It was very manipulatable on the NES. So. Let's go... yeah, we'll just walk. I don't feel like losing life to actually get over here. So we just need to walk towards the various bad enemies here. And this area shouldn't be too bad, because these are going to go down relatively quick to us. These guys are going to be a little bit harder, but even still, as we have like piercing and stuff like that, it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so Dope's dead. Go ahead and focus in on the big group. Oh, and torches in the original game were a nightmare. Good God. Having to light up the dungeons? Yeah. That was not pleasant. They're still not terrible games, though. I have played much, much worse on much, much more modern platforms. With many, many more annoying things. Oh, we can't teleport to that island? Darn. I was gonna do that. So let's see. Keep going. Let's get to there. Just send them out and let them do their thing. But yeah, if you haven't watched a speedrun of Dragon Warrior 1, definitely go check it out. The name works even though the game the name is from wasn't even out yet. That's how nefarious Kefka is. Let's see. If I remember correctly, metal slimes could appear almost anywhere. But I could be wrong on that one. Okay, so they're going to murder them. I'm going to go ahead and pop this afterwards. And we're not getting that much XP because we are suffering the experience penalty right now. In case anyone's wondering, why aren't you leveling up already? Because we literally get less experience because we're too low level. I should be in Act 2 leveling right now. But that is just the word of advice I would give you. Let's see. Abominable's down. Good job. And across. I think she's going to be just up here on our right. So keep going. Come on, kill them. I wish the Skelly AI was a little bit smarter and stayed back. Let's go ahead and, yeah, we'll get poison once. That's going to be a little bit better. I want less ice ones. So I'm going to unsummon the ice ones. You? Oh, we only have one ice one. Okay, that's fine. We'll stick with one. I want less ice ones because they're a little bit less useful right now. Because they do less damage. You can see in here, they do significantly less damage than any of the other ones. Although, actually, no, they're about on the same for the poison guys, but poison guys have fixed damage, so kill these. And they shouldn't be too hard to murder. Yeah, they're just going to go down from the mages and stuff. We have our regular skellies up there fighting the revival dudes. Ooh, a soul rune. We could do a Ort soul helmet. Of course, we could have done that before. If this circlet is 2 sockets, it is! Yay! We can make a, it's required level 27, but we could make a lore. It's going to be nice. It's going to be another +1 skills. Ouch, that hurt. We're going to move back just a little bit. Thank you. Just to have the wall between us and them. Let's see. Are they going to actually be able to murder our skeletons is the question. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to have enough punch to actually get through that. Frozenstein, yeah, Frozenstein's going down. We got a little bit of splash damage going in on them. And piercing from our little range dudes. You are cold and you are cold. We only need one cold guy. Yeah, there we go.